Have you ever woke up and thought, one day I will run a sub 4 hour marathon? Well, I used to dream about it, stress about it, and I wouldn't say I had nightmares, but it was a goal of mine when I started running. And I thought in the first marathon I would do it, but do you know what? It didn't happen. Not in the slightest, around 4:31. But then I did it. And do you know what? It wasn't some crazy superhuman feat. It was hard work, hard training. It was about the plan, dedication, consistency, and the work that I put in that got me to do it 1 year after I started running. So in this video I'm going to share this, well, my plan with you. I'm going to tell you exactly how I done it, and hopefully by the end of this video you are going to have either the tools required or the inspiration to go and run a sub 4 hour marathon yourself. First of all, I need to just get things sorted, and I'm going to go for a run, and then later on I'm going to tell you exactly what I done. There's no point me trying to tell you how to run a sub 4 hour marathon, but I'm going to tell you my experience, and hopefully that gives you the inspiration. So stick around and I'll chat to you later. Now, I have been running marathons now for 3 years. I've been running for 3 years, and I've ran 5 marathons in those 3 years. Sorry, nearly 4 years I've been running, and I have ran 5 marathons. Now, the first marathon was 4 hours 31 minutes. I really thought that I was going to be able to go out and run a sub 4. I wasn't, because I didn't put enough training in. And then the next time I ran a marathon, which was 6 months after that, I did really dial down the training, and I was able to run a sub 4 hour marathon. Now, what differences was there? Well, in the first one, it was guesswork really. I did find a bit of a plan online and tried to follow it as best as possible, but I really wasn't in the shape to be running a sub 4 hour marathon, and I really didn't have the knowledge. Yeah, I didn't really have the knowledge of, you know, what to be doing, what nutrition, what, you know, hydration, any of that sort of stuff, what footwear to be wearing. I was really clueless when it came to that. One of the main things was I didn't really understand how I felt at that marathon pace. So whenever I got there on the day, I only made it out a few miles at marathon pace, and then things started slipping away. I didn't have enough experience to train at marathon pace, or as close to marathon pace as possible, on the lead up. Now, going on to my second marathon, I spent 3 months, maybe 4 months really, preparing for running a sub 4 hour marathon. And if I'm being totally honest, it nearly slipped away, because even though I spent 3 or 4 months training for it, I know now it wasn't even hard enough, because a marathon is not easy. For me, like, I started running to lose weight. I was about 3.5 stone overweight before, and I probably only had lost about a stone at this stage. And yeah, running's hard when you start. It's not that easy. So getting to know how to train properly, getting to know to slow the easy runs down, to do a bit of speed work, and to concentrate on long runs. Like, I didn't really know the importance of any of that, so it really just took a bit of time. So at the beginning of the second marathon block, I went to a physio because I had shin splints, and he told me all about 80-20 training, and that's when I really got into that. But after a wee while of running 80% of my miles easy, I actually didn't really like that. I think it was maybe even running more than that of my miles easy, and anytime I tried to do speed work, I just felt so out of breath and couldn't really stick the pace, so to speak. And I decided that I needed to put more speed work in after a short amount of time, and it was the best thing I ever done. I learned over that time that the long run is just so important before a marathon. I want to mention this first and foremost because I just believe that, especially as a beginner runner, like, if you are not going out and trying those higher miles, then how do you expect to be able to run through it on race day? And for me, I think the longest run I'd done before any of the first 2 marathons, maybe 19 miles. I know now that that's just not long enough for me. I just need to be able to go out and do 22, 23 miles, because it's those last, having a hard last 3 miles is one thing, but having a hard 6 or 8 miles in a marathon is...
I'm rating the 3:30 pacers.
I mean, like, if you're hitting the wall 6 or 8 miles in, it's really hard to get pushed through that last wee bit. And if it's 6 miles or 8 miles you have to push through, that's a long time to be feeling completely crap. So the long run became a staple, so to speak, that I just knew I had to push through those really long runs and get my body used to getting the distance in, really. So that's my advice to you. I know I'm not even qualified to give you advice, but this is really what or how I learned. I just learned by mistakes, and the long run for me is just so essential. Getting that in once a week or once every 2 weeks. For me, I believe getting that 18, 19, 20 mile run in just wasn't enough. I need to go slightly over that. For me, I think a sweet spot is probably 22 miles, 22 or 23. But I suppose that's easier for me to say now that I've done 5 marathons. Back then, getting to 20 miles was probably, maybe not even possible, but I really did struggle in the last few miles. So if you can go further than that, I would test it out and try it. But, running that once or twice, I just don't believe is enough. I think, you need to get in to those higher miles, maybe 6 times or 8 times on the lead up to a marathon over a 2 or 3 month period. And that really brings the fitness on. So that's really what helped me, is getting those longer miles in, up in the miles throughout the week. Don't get me wrong, I didn't have massive mileage, like I probably averaged 35 miles to run a sub 4 hour marathon, but I ran most of my miles fasted in the morning, and I really enjoyed running. I still enjoy running. I just really got out there and get dialed in every day. But those long miles and trying to keep the consistency of 35 miles a week was really what helped me, I believe. Now, when I ran a sub 4 hour marathon, I really did not get my nutrition right, but I know now what I done wrong. So I took 2 gels with me to eat at the latter part of the marathon, and I, to be honest, really crashed. Like I nearly missed the 4 hour mark. I had 14 seconds to spare whenever I broke 4 hour marathon for the first time. And I know now that 2 gels just isn't enough for me, and I would now eat or take a gel for every 4 or 5 miles or every 30 minutes or so. Whereas whenever I tried it for the first time, I was done at 20 miles. The other thing I done wrong was, and in the same way as I only ate gels at the end of the marathon, I really only drank water at the end of the marathon. And like, it's just the wrong way of doing things. Running a marathon is a serious thing. You need a lot of nutrition, and you need a lot of hydration. And for me, I need to be drinking water throughout the whole marathon. Don't be tempted to skip the first couple of water stops just because you feel good, because if you drink throughout the whole marathon, it'll pay off come into the later stages of the marathon. Because I didn't do that for the first 2, and I really hit the wall badly. Another piece of advice I would have for you is make sure you're doing a lot of miles in around marathon pace. If you can't run, very close to your marathon pace and on a long run a few weeks before the marathon, don't expect to do it on marathon day. That's me, even like, that's what I've learned. Like, I've tried to do long runs 20 seconds off marathon pace and then go out and run 20 seconds per mile on marathon day, and I just haven't been able to do it. Whereas whenever I trained for the actual marathon, trained at marathon pace, even though I didn't run 26 miles in training, I done maybe 4 times 4 miles and built that up to 4 times 3 miles, and then built it up to 4 times 5 miles at marathon pace. So at least before the marathon, I had done 20 miles at marathon pace, or very close to it. And then on fresh legs on marathon day, I was able to push through the last 6 miles. For me, that's what's worked. Not like getting so far away from the mark in terms of like pace per mile, and then thinking I'll be able to do it, with a bit of determination in race day. I actually think I was able to run slightly faster at a lower heart rate on training days, because on the marathon day I probably had a lot of, my heart rate was elevated, there was a bit of nerves and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's something to consider. Another thing I didn't consider was, like, if you're going to run a sub for a marathon, I think it's 9 minutes and 9 seconds per mile, or 9 minutes and 7 seconds per mile, whatever it is, do not go out at that pace exactly as it says on your watch, because there's going to be a bit of difference with the GPS, and also there's going to be a difference in how far you actually run. Whenever a marathon course is set out, obviously they have set that out to a racing line, and there's no way you're holding that racing line the whole marathon. Like, most marathons that all the marathons I've run have been shown on my watch at the end that I have run 26.5 miles at least. So you have to factor that in terms of the pace that you go out that. When I ran sub 4, I believe that I went out at 8:50 per mile, or 8:55. That was kind of where I wanted to be. And with a couple of wee stretches of walking in the last few miles, I nearly missed it. So, like, to me, if you're right down to the wire, I run with a slight panic if I'm so close. So I need that wee bit of a sort of grace, so to speak. So yeah, that's really what helped That's really what I found out through running marathons. And yeah, just the other thing would be is to practice everything on race before race day. Don't leave anything up to race day itself. New shoes, new clothes, new ideas, whatever it is. Just practice it all in the lead up to the marathon. And if you're going to run a marathon soon, be prepared in the last couple of weeks that you're going to get these thoughts in your mind about aches and pains. Are they real? You know, am I going to be able to do this? There'll be doubts setting in. All these different things will be running through your mind on the week of or in the last couple of weeks. Stay focused. Don't be getting too uptight watching videos and listening to people's advice on the lead up to the marathon. I just think that's not healthy. Get a plan, stick to the plan, and execute it on race day, and you'll have an amazing time. So there you are. So this video really has outlined what I have learned on how to run a sub 4-hour marathon. I hope you've found that useful. If you have, please leave a comment below. If you have any other experiences you would like to share with me, please leave them in the comments below. I really appreciate every single one of you. And if you could subscribe, that would be great. Just to help grow the channel. I'm currently trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could do that, that would be absolutely awesome. But thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in another video very soon. Sorry if you've been watching this channel, sorry that it's been a few weeks since I had a video. It's just been hectic here, and I've been meaning every week over the last wee while to get video out. I've actually got a few videos half edited and half done that I just need to finish, so hopefully there'll be more content coming your way very soon. Anyway, have a blessed day, and I will chat to you very soon.